show you some of the books of my collection. Okay, what I have bought and what I have as a copy. Now, this was Parliament that was before Rajya Sabha, as I had known. Okay, though I had not come and seen I had known that this had been the part of the, it. As I had studied it as something like a colossal, and then I had gone to the Egmore Museum where I live, like where I stay in Chennai. So that part of that I have seen. It's very closer to Kanimra Library and all that. And then we have a similar pattern of the same structure there. Now, this is a book that I had bought, and I would, recommend every single of the citizen, so, everybody. Though we say, like, the Indian Constitution has been adopted. The Indian Constitution has been adopted, yes, but there are so many things that that you can easily read from the book, and this is so evident that I'm a book worm, something like I like to read a lot. And then the book, if you can see, this is not just bookworm, it is the termites. The termites are more interested in gasping all this, to take in all these, the kind of information that is there. So I wouldn't even say if this is you know uh, the bookworm or what. I don't know, or something. It looked like silver fish, they used to say. That is what is said in the English thing. But term it had to be termites, or it had to be a silverfish, or they say. But the bookworms are something like, as the ardent readers, who never put the book down. They will always want to read something from that, and it is very much true, because this is in print. It has all this, as how it is given in the constitution. Okay, now this is not the revised constitution, as how you see, uh, because the revised constitution looks something like this. Okay, with all the Kanun. So this is the Shakespearean book that I have bought, with five of the plays in it, and this remains with its, the golden thing, and this hasn't fallen, I mean, it hasn't become anything else. This remains to be in the golden thing. But what happened is, this book, actually I had bought the same way, with red and the golden. It had a golden, something like this. The golden leaves of this, as I don't know. Actually, I don't know what it is to be said, but this remains in white. Now this remains in white and red, and then it often reminds me of the white palettes and the red palettes of our blood cells, and so much so true with the northern part of the northeastern part of India, where there have been a lot of the kuti kuti, as how you should actually call them, to be the union territories of India. And most of the times we don't even come to realize, like whether it's Tibet, or whether we say about Arunachal Pradesh, or it is a part, really part of China, or most of them look similar to the Chinese, people. And from Bangladesh also, when we say, like before the fall of independence, how it had been, as all part of, Pakistan was part, Bangladesh was part of it, and this was part of it. And about 300 or 500 years ago, how was it? So now, for all that history, we are not looking into this. Okay. For all that history that has to go on, it goes on with this black and this golden, the tinge of it. This is something like, is available with this also, with simple kind of a book, that that this is like this. But what happens, you when you don't have a proper casing to that bookshelf, to it, and sometimes this might go something like this. Okay. and it might also become like this. So this is the kind of the truth that I cannot go for Hajj and the pilgrimage, something like that. But for Pillsbury, this is the kind of thing that it's eaten off, and then how can else it will show? No, it cannot show that apple had been bitten off or anything like that. For Ambedkar, I always felt like Binoy or Bijoy Gigi and when the kind of the custodian of the northeastern states, because they have this white and this red as a very simple cotton, the shawl or the saris or something like that, that I am always reminded of the simplicity of the colors that they use. Okay, and also I would always say that every temple. Okay, every temple. I'm not. It is a. It is a temple. Okay, it is a temple. It is a temper. It is the temperament of the people. It is the highest dome of the people that you would see. See something like this that has. Okay, that has its. The curvatures here. Every temple will have this. Now this is where that you would find the dragon's head. So this is not just the lion as you see. Okay, this will not be just the lion as you see. This will have its dragon foot. Why the dragon foot? Because the fire, as how you say the snake doesn't walk on feet. The snakes only crawls over something. Okay, it can only crawl over something. It can only crawl over something. Okay, it can only crawl over and creep over something when it is the pillared. In the temples we can find most of the temples that it will have when we are not too very comfortable with this the kind of the lion system, and then we are very fond of being deep rooted and down the from the ground level, as how the snakes will have the feet. They will have the where they will whether they are having their pants on, or that they have this. It's just the fun of it to say, because um the east of India is where the sun rises, where you can see the sun, rises. The sun rises from the east, and that is why the northeastern states will always, have something like that. But whenever I go to a temple, a Hindu temple, I'm reminded of this. And Bijoy and Binoy are people who had I had seen as the members of the constitution, who are trying, who are really very hard enough to try. They are like Sonam Wang. Okay, they were all people who had actually been wanting to run the system, to run the in governance, to have the educational systems, to have the administration systems, to run very smoothly. When you say to run very smoothly, so that is how that your visual depiction will show. Okay, so it's not the lion's den that we think of. It's not no. Something that is in a lieu of something in that it's in the lion's den or something like that. To have the governance run very smoothly, then that is how it is usually visually depicted. Okay. One other book I had bought of the Constitution of India. I was actually trying to get a copy of this with all these golden lotus, but that was not available in the stall that I was asking for. And there was another kind of the covering that it had with a peacock, the color of the peacock, like that was they my mother always used to say it's a copper sulfate color to protect the peacock, because when it is said to be the she the mild color, because that is the one of the feather, it's always the plumes are always plucked. Only everybody likes, whether it's Murugan or Krishnan. Everybody likes to have in the Hindu mythology that the peacock dances so well, and it is something that brings rain, and it knows that and it is such a beautiful national bird that that has no prejudices. But every other bird will envy it, something like that. Okay, so this is it's because it's a national bird. It's a term to be a national bird. So, another copy of the Constitution what I had bought, I had given it to my mother, because I actually was not very much interested with politics, but she had a lot of interest in politics. She knew a lot of things in politics, and because her genetics was so, her father and her mother were in the central and the state government. So she naturally had that sort of an instinct in her, and that was why I didn't like politics. uh, that makes the mother and the daughter different. So when I also like start when I had I would have actually not taken much of her space. So it had been too long a time that I never liked politics, and then I always said that they are doing it very selfishly, and some people are too very selfish about having certain things, and then that was my idea about politics. So now that I had to learn about politics, now that I had to know about the policies, because they were saying about polit bureaus, and this is about how it is done to have the moral policing and all that. So it's just that we cannot say that that you because I don't like something, I don't want to do it. So you need to do something, and you also need to know why you don't like, and anything if that's possible to mend with, we might be able to mend with. Otherwise, we just have to let go of it, or might be able to have a different mindset to it. See, B.R. Ambedkar. It is also, some people say Brother Ambedkar, some people say Bhima Rao, some people say, he is Bharat Ratan, Bharat Ratna. No, they don't even say Bharat Ratna, they say Bharat Ratan. And Baba Saheb, and Dr. Bhima Rao Ambedkar, Beam. So, what is, as how I've understood him to be, he had been the disciple of the Buddhism, the Budapest. Okay, and that was how it is said to be, like as how I had come to know of him, that he had been a sadhuin, and then he couldn't get his mortal remains together, but that was made possible, and that was still is possible. And we have these the constitutional remedies that works out for the such kind of people who had lived and gone by. Okay, there were so many other people also who had lived and gone by. So somebody who sits with Yadav may not be the same person as who is represented to be here. But there is one, the a person who looks similar, and then they are able to get into that the level of position where he could come back to the colossal, that the ring of that. And actually this is the depiction of the Buddha, and we don't have any better illustrations, okay, inside, and it is only very textual. That is why it is very textual. And then when we have to have certain histories about it, and then we might where we are looking for certain pictures, certain depictions, certain of the things that could be learnt or recollected, as how you need to prepare for your exams, and or something like that, you need to update yourself, that you need to know whether this has been proper, where you can travel and then you can find your own revelations, and then you know whether the what you had learnt and what you were seeing is true or not. Okay. And the kind of the truth that you are also complementing yourself with. So all these books are also available. So you would want to know about Indian history. You would want to know about so much of the art and the culture and all that. Those are non-parliamentary. They don't come inside inside the certain depictions. Certain visible visual illustrations are not found inside the book. Okay, so that doesn't mean that they are unparliamentary. So, but anything, because those are monuments, and then we may not be able to uh, you know have entire, because this is only a concise book, and this is very precise to the point, and where what you need to know. Maybe you can just refer, and then to know the truth of it, you can go to the location, to can travel, and then you can make your own travelogue on what you have recorded, what you need to record on